The last piece of the application is being able to copy the changes we made to the box. If we look at the box computed property, the value we're returning in the function is what we want to return to the user. We're not going to add an object to the clipboard. We'll pass in the string version of this property. The browser has a simple function we can run for copying the data to the clipboard. Let's look at how we would do that. Let's switch over to the index file. Search for the second button in the template. We'll use this button to listen for a click. On it, add the click event listener with the prevent modifier. The name of the function we'll run will be called copy. Next, let's define the method in the instance. In the app.js file, we'll define the copy method to the methods object. Inside this function, define a variable called text. This variable will contain the text to copy to the clipboard. At the moment, the CSS's value is stored in a string. However, the property itself is not present in the value. For the sake of convenience, let's add the property name. Set this variable to a template string with the following content: transform, this.box.transform, semicolon. After creating this variable, we can start copying this value to the user's clipboard. After the variable definition, run a function called navigator.clipboard.writeText. The navigator object is defined by the browser. It'll contain various pieces of information about the user's browser. In addition to storing information, we can access an API called Clipboard. In the resource section of this lecture, I provide a link to this API's documentation page. This API is relatively new. It allows us to read, copy, and paste content into the clipboard. It's supported on all browsers and devices. Be warned, it does not work on older browsers. If your app depends on legacy browser versions, you might want to consider a different solution. Let's head back to the editor. The writeText function will copy text to the user's clipboard. This function is asynchronous. There are different ways to handle asynchronous code. In my opinion, I really enjoy using the async await syntax. It's easy to read and write. If you prefer to chain the then function, that's perfectly fine. For now, let's add the async keyword to the copy function. Now, add the await keyword to the writeText function. Lastly, pass in the text variable into the function. One more thing. It's a bad idea not to give feedback to the user. They should be informed of the successful action. Below the writeText function, run the alert function with the following message: CSS copied to clipboard. We're finished. Let's try testing the button one more time. On the browser, refresh the page. Afterward, try changing the values and copying them to your clipboard by pressing the button. We can test if we have a copy by pasting the contents of the clipboard to the console. As you can see, we're able to copy the data to the user's clipboard successfully. We've successfully created our first app in Vue. We were able to utilize a lot of what we learned in the previous section. We have a tool we can use to test how an element will behave if we change its transform properties. That wraps it up for this lecture. We'll continue in the next one.